Welcome back to PERK'S reCAP podcast. Once again with me is Al, and we're here to talk about Week 8 in the NFL. Al, you ready to go?
You bet, man. Yeah, can't wait. Another crazy week in the league. Gotta love it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I got to go back before the next podcast. I got to go back and check our records last year, going into Week 9 or whatever, or coming out of Week 9. And see how we fared compared to this year, because this year's been tougher.
I agree. I mean, I'd be surprised if we weren't decent chunk ahead of where we were last year. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The opposite of that. We were better last year is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. There's still teams. We're already 9 weeks in or 8 weeks in, and there's still teams I don't know what to make of.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so weird. You know, there's some real mysteries out there, and usually that works itself out by the end of the first month or so.
Yep. Week to week, I don't know what I'm going to get from a bunch of teams.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
All right. Well, let's start off here. Minnesota and the Chargers in LA. And this is a 37-10 Chargers victory. Minnesota, with the Red Rifle there. Wait a minute. Yeah,
Carson
Wentz, not the Red Rifle. Wentz at quarterback just could not do anything at all. They pretty much get dominated. This was not a fun game. I tried to watch a little bit of it. I watched some of it, and by the time it got out of hand, I was like, I tapped out. I was done. We all predicted the Chargers, but we all had it a lot closer than what it actually turned out to be. 37-10 was domination. I had a 1-point win. You had a 9-point win. Joe had a 5-point win, and they go and win by 27.
Yeah, this was, it's funny because the Chargers' woes in large part, one, it helps that the Vikings aren't as good as we thought. Certainly, I mean, I didn't think they were great, but I didn't think they were quite as bad as they're looking. Two, they got Joe Alt back, and immediately their offense came back to life. So it was really as simple as that.
Yep. Talk about domination. 419 total yards for the Chargers and 164 total yards for the Vikings.
Yeah, that was look at the time of possession too, Craig.
I think this is the biggest time of possession disparity I've seen. 39 minutes to 20. I mean, almost 21, 39 to 21.
Huge.
That
massive.
Is huge. 16 penalties didn't really, favor one team or the other. But other than that, I mean, this was, totally one-sided.
Absolutely amazing. Kamani Vidal has been a revelation.
Yeah, Vidal Sassoon.
Yes. He's been awesome. Lad McConkey, Oronde Gadsden, the second. Yeah. I mean, this guy's a stud tight end all of a sudden, and it took him, a month and a half in the league to become a total stud.
Yeah, Herbert had 3 touchdowns. He did have 1 pick with 3 touchdowns. On the other side, Wentz had 144 yards. He was 15 of 27, not good. They rushed 11 total times for 34 yards total.
Yeah, it's brutal, man. Brutal. And what happened to Jordan Mason taking the reins over in this backfield? That died out.
Well, Aaron Jones came back.
Yeah, but how did he go from totally having the backfield to 4 carries for 3 yards?
Well, Jones only had 5.
Well, fair point. I'm just saying he stunk.
Yeah, oh yeah, he absolutely stunk for sure. But in terms of the backfield, I think I was assuming that when Jones came back, it was going to be more of a 50-50 split, and that's basically what we got. But it doesn't matter because they both were no good. Like I said, 11 carries for 34 yards is not going to get it done for a team. As a team, 11 for 34. Jefferson had 7 for 74. But that's it. Nobody else had over 30 yards. Addison caught the touchdown, but 26 yards. Just a total dud laid, total egg laid by the Vikings.
Yeah, it was brutal. And Wentz is out for the year now. Did you see that?
Oh, Wentz is out for the year?
Yep. He has shoulder surgery. He came out of the game at the end. I wasn't sure because I didn't watch it to the end. Once it got to blowout status, I was out. But I saw Max Brosmer came in
Yep.
and threw a few passes, but I didn't know why. I just assumed maybe they pulled Wentz because of the blowout. But no, he hurt his shoulder surgery, out for the year.
Now, what about J.J. McCarthy? Is he's going to be able to come back?
That's what I heard. Yeah, I'll see if I can confirm that. But from everything I heard, he will be back this week.
All right. Well, that's good because he would be the starter anyway. But even so, Minnesota is, like you said, not nearly as good as we thought.
No, yeah, I'm right there with you on that. Absolutely.
All right, let's move on
Cool.
to a game we all got wrong. And the New York Jets get their first win of the season, 39-38. My goodness, the Bengals, they were at home and they lost to the Jets. Coming off of the week before, right? Did they win the week before? Am I misremembering here? Yeah, where they beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And we were talking about how they're not out of contention.
Yeah, and then they go and lose to the Jets.
Yeah, absolutely brutal loss. And by the way, McCarthy is expected to have a full week of prep this week and play against the Lions.
Okay, there you go. The Jets had 502 yards of offense.
Yeah, man. I mean, that is all you need to know about how bad the Bengals defense is. Because I don't know if they had that in the last 3 games.
500 yards. I mean, Justin Fields had the best game by far of the year, 21 for 32, 244, threw a touchdown, no picks. But the real story was Breece Hall, 18 carries, 133 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, man. I mean, everybody that touched the ball did well. Isaiah Davis averaged 9.3 yards a carry on 7 touches. Isaiah Williams ran once for 25 yards. I mean, they just destroyed them.
I don't get it. I mean, I understand their defense is bad, but how come? I mean, and they scored 38 points, so it's not like they didn't put up. But I mean, the defense was especially bad this week.
Yeah, they're just not a good team, and the Flacco magic helped some for sure. I mean that you should win when you score 38 points, like you just said, but they're just not a good team. I don't think they're very well coached. I think their head coach is a problem, and when you can't win when you have Joe Cool, in the first month of the season. I don't know, man. This guy's got 9 lives, and we'll see if he survives this season too because of the injury to Burrow. But it's a real ugly 3-5, man, because they were 2-0 with Burrow.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is on a hell of a pace, though. He had 12 more catches. 12. He's on a reception pace that might break records. 12 catches and 91 yards. But I mean, that's like not the first time he's had double-digit catches this year. He's had a few times, and he's on a hell of a pace.
Yeah, he's having a heck of a year, although he did have a few games early where they were ignoring him a little bit. So I'm curious because with him and with Puka missing, because Puka was on a pace early to break every record for receptions in the history of the NFL. And then he missed a game in 3 quarters because of that ankle injury. So I'm really curious to see where they all stand at this point. I think Chase is now on pace for something close to. Yeah, he's got 70 catches, and they didn't have their bye, so they've played 8 games. Now that'd be 140 catches in an old 16-game season. So he's on pace for like 145, 150 catches, man. That's crazy. I don't even know what the record is. Do you?
Isn't it? Is it still? It's not still Marvin Harrison, right? It's got to be been broken since then.
Let's see here. Oh, that's right. Michael Thomas broke it in 2019. Remember Michael Thomas, the Saints? He had 149. So Chase is currently on pace to break that.
That's what I mean. I knew he was on a hell of a pace.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. And Flacco's keying in on him, which he should. So, yeah.
Yep. Only 6 penalties in this game. I love it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nice and quick.
Beautiful.
All right. On to a game that I tell you, we caveated our way right out of this. Me and you did anyway. Joe did not. Joe had Chicago all along. And we had Baltimore, and then we switched midweek. So if you listened to the podcast last week, guys, me and Al both picked Baltimore to beat Chicago, and Joe picked Chicago to win the game. And then midweek or Saturday, we find out Lamar Jackson's not playing, even though he was expected to play all week before that. And when we did the podcast, he was expected to play.
Yep.
And it turned out that he did not play. So me and Al talked, and we decided to switch our picks to Chicago. Joe was picking Chicago, so we all picked Chicago. And of course, Baltimore wins in dominating fashion, 30-16 anyway.
Yeah, man. Yeah, these are two teams that's hard to figure. I mean, it's, the 2-5 team is clearly the better team right now, which is crazy to me. You have a 4-3 versus a 2-5, and the 2-5 just destroyed them. I mean, with their backup, with their third string quarterback going into the season, So yeah, no, it's mind boggling. The Bears are tough to figure. They are not they're not a very good team, but they're not a terrible team. So they're really hard to pick week to week. Yeah, and the Ravens get a big win with Huntley. I mean, they are not out of this. They are in a shaky division led by the Steelers, who are the shakiest division leader in football. And they're still in this at 2-5.
That's crazy.
Yeah, really is.
Sorry. For our totals for the week, I didn't have that in there because I didn't make the change yet from
Right on. Okay.
But anyway, I don't know what's going on there. In that's another team I don't know what to make of, and that's the Bears. And in a lot of ways, Baltimore too. I mean, I guess Lamar is supposed to be back for Thursday.
Definitely now they're saying, although there was a lot of that last week and then he didn't play. So, but it sounds like he's definitely playing this week. We'll see.
All right, 17 penalties. The Bears had 11 of them. Time of possession was the same. Yardage was about the same. The Bears just aren't. They're just a total mystery to me. One of those teams that we talked about at the beginning. It's a handful of teams. I just don't know what to make of week to week.
Yeah, they're one of them for sure. They are very mysterious. A big part of it is Caleb Williams, and he is good but not great. So, he had a okay game, yardage wise, and but he threw a pick and no touchdowns. It's he's a tough guy to figure. He's still growing. I think there's possibility for greatness in him, but we're not there yet, and that's tough when you don't know what you're going to get from your quarterback week to week. They have too many weapons for him to just be mediocre.
Yeah, got to give some credit to Snoop Huntley.
Oh, heck yeah.
6 yards, a touchdown, no picks. He just kind of drove the bus, as they say, and managed the game and managed them right to a nice win. And their defense played a lot better.
A lot better.
Yeah, holding Chicago to 16 points is huge. And if their defense can come around and Lamar comes back and he's Lamar, they might be able to make some noise again. They're actually, how crazy is this? They're actually the betting favorite to still win the division.
That's nuts, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's obviously we're not the only people that don't believe in the Steelers, and they like I said, they're super shaky at the top. What else do you have? The Bengals and the Browns.
Yeah. So they're still the betting favorite to win the division at 2-5.
That's wild. That is wild. Wow. Incredible.
All right. Let's talk a little Dolphins, Falcons. There we go.
Talk
34
about
to
teams you
10.
can't figure out, Craig.
Another team that you can't figure out is Atlanta. Week to week, they play good. Then they lose to Carolina, 38 or 35 nothing, whatever the hell the score was. And then they play okay again coming out of that. You think, all right. And then all of a sudden, then Miami goes into Atlanta. They're at home and destroy them 34 to 10. We all got it wrong. We all picked Atlanta. My goodness. And the time of possession, once again, basically 38 minutes to 22. 38 minutes to 22 minutes. Miami had the advantage there.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, Tua looked like one of the worst quarterbacks in football 2 weeks ago. He threw for 100 yards and 3 picks with no touchdowns. And this week he was a model of efficiency. 20 for 26, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. I mean, he was almost perfect. So figure that guy out. You can't figure him out. You can't figure out the entire Falcons team. The Dolphins are even hard to figure out because it looked like McCarthy was going to get fired after last week, and now he paced a mediocre team at least. They're not a bottom feeder, the Falcons. I don't know what they are, but they're not a bottom feeder. So Bijan Robinson, who's been one of the best backs in football this year, had 9 carries for 25 yards against a terrible defense. It doesn't make sense.
Nope. Kirk Cousins was awful. Maybe, I mean, that could be part of it too. Don't forget, Penix was out. Cousins is not good anymore. He hasn't been good for a while. And 21 for 31, 173 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. So he tried to manage the game a little bit, but couldn't get really anything going on offense. Their offense really sputtered without Penix.
Yeah, brutal. And he's supposed to be one of the best backups in football. And if they're hoping to trade him, this didn't help.
That's the thing. That really hurts his trade value if they wanted to try to get dump him off somewhere.
Yeah, for sure, especially with the money he's making. So yeah, they're now in that if anybody's even interested, which I kind of doubt, then they're gonna have to pay a big chunk of his salary. So yeah, not good for. They lost a game. Not good for trying to trade him. The whole thing stinks for the Falcons, and they are rapidly spiraling and declining, in my view, hugely. They are now just above the bottom tier in the league.
I totally agree. Yeah, I don't know what to make of him. I don't. I guess you got to move Miami up a little bit in your head, but not much. They're still one of the worst teams in the league to me.
Yeah.
But it's just Atlanta is so mediocre that if they have a bad game, especially now without their quarterback, they can lose to anybody, even a bottom team, even at home.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, this was brutal. The Falcons put up 213 yards of total offense against one of the worst defenses in the league. So just bad football.
Yep. All right. On to total domination. The Buffalo Bills, 40-9 over Carolina. Carolina goes back to being Carolina, even at home. We had Buffalo winning, but much closer. You had 27-23. I had 30-24. Joe had a much wider margin, 34-20, but even that wasn't good enough. 40-9 is the final. Total domination, 410 yards of offense. Yeah, what are you going to say? Josh Allen only had 163 yards, but he had a touchdown, and then he ran in 2 more, so he still had 3 touchdowns. Seems like he gets 3 touchdowns one way or another every week.
Yeah.
How about James Cook?
Man, what a monster.
Yeah, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns. If there was ever any doubt about James Cook being one of the best backs in the league, he just slammed the door shut on that argument.
No, he's been incredible this year, man. They have leaned on him a little bit more, and he's earned every little bit of it. I mean, He's an absolute beast, man. And they still don't like to give him 20 carries a game. They didn't in this one, and he still got 200 yards. Yeah, he's a monster.
Andy Dalton did some Andy Dalton things. 175 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Rico Dowdle only got 8 carries. Still did great with the average. Had 54 yards, averaged almost 7 yards a rush. But Chuba Hubbard got more carries. He got 12 carries, but only 34 yards, averaging 3 yards a carry, not even. So the running game was not much other than Rico's average. Ted McMillan still had 99 yards though, so he's definitely emerged. But this is just a bad Panthers team having a bad game against one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, we talked about how they could, establish themselves as a real playoff contender and good team by not even beating the Bills, but by hanging with them, and they did neither. They established themselves as very mediocre, right in the same ballpark as the Falcons.
Yeah, I would classify them around the same. Even though when they played, they crushed the Falcons. So I don't know.
Absolutely. I know it's weird.
Okay, so we all got that one right. I want to move on because this was a little bit of a surprising one. A team that just is notorious for being a letdown whenever you start to believe in them. And there's a few of those teams. Houston Texans, 26, San Francisco, 13. Me and you picked San Francisco and Joe picked Houston. But the thing about San Francisco that we were coming into this game was like, yeah, they're injured. They have injuries, but it doesn't seem to matter.
Yeah.
But it mattered in this game. They only got 15 points, 26-15. Houston gets the win. And 475 yards of offense for Houston.
Yeah.
The time of possession was the biggest one. Remember I said this might be the biggest disparity I've ever seen? Well, since I've been really paying attention to this is even bigger. 41 minutes to 18.
Wow, that is wild.
San
Absolutely
Francisco
wild.
Had the ball for 18 minutes total.
Incredible. Yeah, that's incredible. That is a absolute domination. This, a lot of what I heard coming out of this game is that San Francisco is going to be in the market for pass rushers, plural. And I guess maybe that was the key to figuring this game out. And good on Joe for doing it, because I'm impressed anybody would have the faith to pick the Texans the way they played this year. So good on him for seeing this one, because you and I definitely didn't. And the key to this equation, I think, was recognizing that the injuries on the Niners defense were going to be so great that it nullified the poor play of the Texans offensive line.
Yep.
Because Stroud had more time to throw passes than he's had combined for the better part of the last year and a half. I mean, he threw the ball 39 times?
Hang on one second.
Yeah, 30 for 39 in a game that they won by 11 points.
Yeah.
That's wild. And they did it because he could,
Jeez. All right.
Yeah, mind-blowing.
Unbelievable. I just want to mention too, total plays 75-44.
Whew.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely incredible.
75-44. I mean, not that they won. I mean, it's surprising we both didn't pick it, but the fact that they just dominated the way they dominated.
Yeah. No, it was an absolute butt whooping. It didn't even feel close, like ever,
I mean, C.J. Stroud, 30 for 39. 318 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw 1 pick, but still. It's a hell of a game.
He had more time to throw combined in this game than probably the last 10 games. I mean, it was really wild. And, they were up 23-7, so it was never close. And It was astonishing. Now, what I want to know is this the beginning of the Texans getting good again, or is this a mirage? Because they still haven't fixed their offensive line. They did it against a team that's been decimated by injuries. So when they play a team with a good pass rush, or even a decent mediocre pass rush, are they still going to fall to pieces? I don't know how to take this game.
I don't know either. And now it makes San Francisco, makes me question everything with them too. I don't know what another situation of teams I don't know what to make of. And now because of this result, I don't know what to make of either one of them.
I agree completely. I don't know. It's really weird. I can't figure out either one of these teams. Thought I had a handle on the Niners after they played so well even despite the injuries the week before, but it did not translate to 2 weeks in a row. So yeah, I don't know what to make of them. Either of them.
All right. Well, let's move on to your game. Eagles, Giants, 38-20. Eagles right the wrongs from 2 weeks ago, play much better again. Once again, I said I wanted to see it again out of Hurts. He didn't have the yardage, but 4 touchdowns, no picks. Can't complain about that. Only threw the ball 20 times, and the reason for that was because they ran the ball so well. Tank Bigsby had 9 carries for 104 yards, and then, of course, Saquon, still only 14 carries, but that's all he needed to get 150 yards in the touchdown. Right off the bat, the first play was, 65 yards, something like that.
Yeah, that was nice to see.
No A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, 84 yards. And go right ahead, take it away.
Well, okay, so the big announcement this week is the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles' name is Kevin Patullo.
Yes.
I have learned it. I reserve the right to forget it again, but for now, I know it. So the big news out of this game is the Eagles, like you said, they played 2 really good games in a row now. This one even better than the week before. They delivered an even bigger whooping on the Giants than the Giants did to them 2 weeks ago by 1 point, but I'll still take it. And they did it, without their best receiver. They did it without Saquon Barkley for a quarter and a half. He tweaked his hamstring. That's why he only had 14 carries. He would have had Tank's other 9 or maybe 7 or 8 of them at least if he didn't go out of the game. The receiving core, Jahan Dotson stepped up. They just with Jalen Hurts, they just don't look at the number 3 receiver a ton, where the number 3 receiver is just not going to get 50 catches a year like some teams might. But those are going to go to Goddard when he's healthy. But Jahan Dotson stepped up, caught a huge touchdown pass in this one for 40 yards. The defense played awesome. They sacked Dart, what was it? I think 5 times. Yeah, 5 times. Just a great effort. Bigsby, man, Barkley goes out. Eagles have a 2nd and 31 because of a weird penalty circumstance.
How are you the Giants and give up 31 yards when it's 2nd and 31 on a running play?
Unbelievable. He gets like 34 yards on a 2nd and 31 just throwaway handoff. I mean, it was unbelievable. And it's nice that trade all of a sudden it pays big dividends when Barkley tweaks a hammy. You know what I mean? Like it's nice they have a Tank Bigsby to bring off the freaking bench. So now this is just an absolutely wonderful game for the Eagles. It solidifies them as one of the best teams in the league again, I think, and just puts away a lot of the bad taste of the first month of the season. So huge game. The big terrible news from this game for just football fans in general, and certainly for Giant fans, is I'm sure you saw what happened to Scattaboo.
Oh my God. That looked awful.
I couldn't it's one of those I kind of wish I hadn't seen it. Like they didn't show the replay, thank goodness, but or at least they didn't.
I saw it live though. I mean, as soon as
me too.
He was on the ground and I didn't think anything of it, and then all of a sudden, but I didn't take my eyes off of it because I noticed he wasn't getting up, and then I was able to get a glimpse of it, And my goodness, his ankle was in a direction it should not be.
Yeah, his foot was facing the wrong way, and it was bad. And I just felt terrible for the guy. What a great story he was, and it just sucks because I'm sure he's got to be out for the year now, obviously.
Yeah,
And
I think they were announced. He already had surgery and everything. He had surgery that day.
yeah, they had a nice thing. The Eagle fans rep might get a little boost, although nobody pays attention to good things that happen in Philly. They're still stuck on throwing snowballs at Santa. But
Yeah, they actually gave him a hand as he came off.
they gave him a standing ovation as he got carted off the field.
He's a very likable guy. He's got so much energy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, well, so was Mark Bavaro, but they never cheered for him. So I think this is a dawning of a new day in Philly.
Yeah.
So, and Dom, you remember Dom, the Eagles security guy who got suspended from the sideline because he got into a little brouhaha a couple of years ago? Do you remember this?
So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he stopped by the hotel or the hotel room, the hospital room, and brought him a big basket of cheesesteaks and pizza, and Zach Bond stopped by, and it was pretty cool, man. It's just everybody was reaching out to a guy who's
a kid, he's young. It really sucks that it happened to him.
That's a shame, man. I mean, the Giants, who are an up and comer now, are now without Scattaboo and Neighbors for the rest of the season. So while they don't have a
Yeah, this is not just about Dart getting some experience the rest of the year and then really try to go after something next year.
Yeah, it looked like for half a second they could at least pretend that they were contending, or at least be like, okay, we're going for 500 or something. But that's out the window now. They're just looking to the future and hoping, like you said, Dart gets some good experience and their defensive pieces start coming together a little better, because they can't stop the run to save their lives.
Right. If they can have a good draft, get Neighbors and Scattaboo back with Dart and with a year under his belt now or close to it, next year they could go after that 500 record again, and have a legitimate shot at it with probably a better schedule too.
Yeah, nobody's looking at them as a joke anymore. You can't.
They're not. Although it's going to be tough sledding with this schedule the rest of the way with all these guys hurt. Because they had a bunch of defensive backs, I think, hurt as well, and so did the Eagles.
Yeah, there was a lot of injuries. Yeah, they're that's interesting, man. Their future is kind of a bummer for them for this year. But if you're a Giant fan, you're feeling good about the future for the first time in a long time.
Yep. Okay, I got to mention it because it's been a topic. The goddamn tush push. I know you love it. Fuck that fucking play. Sorry, excuse my French, excuse my language. I hate that play with every fiber of my being. I hate that play because it is the dumbest, stupidest play ever because the referees don't know how to officiate it. That was absolutely 1,000% a fumble. And if it's not, then about half of the other plays should not have been touchdowns because he gets stood up a lot and then he gets pushed in the end zone. So if you're going to say no forward progression, then like half of his plays of the tush push should not be touchdowns because he gets stood up a lot and then he gets pushed in. So they said he got stood up and then he extended, and you're not allowed to extend unless it's going to the end zone. Whereas you get over the line, it's a touchdown. That's not in play in this play that I'm talking about. He extends, loses the ball to Thibodeau, and they say that he got stood up. His forward progression is stopped, but it didn't. None of that was right. That was absolutely 1,000% a fumble. And it's not even the Eagles' fault. I hate the play because the officials don't know how to officiate it. I mean, we've got footage of the Eagles jumping, before the play gets snapped, getting an advantage that way. They don't call it. The officials are just too stupid to be able to actually officiate this correctly. I think now 1,000%, the next time it comes up for debate or gets voted on or whatever, it's going to get voted down. I think there's no chance it comes back next time. What do you think?
I think you're probably right. I think it's lame because they're just going to legislate out a play nobody can stop. But It's like when they made dunking illegal in the NBA for 20 years because nobody could stop Will Chamberlain,
Right.
But the sentiment, although it felt like it was going to go away last year, so there's still a chance.
Right.
There are obviously still enough people that felt like people should figure out a way to stop it instead of legislating it out of the game last year to let it go through. So maybe enough of those people stand up again. We'll see.
Yep. Well, what do you think about that play? The extension and the fumble?
They blew the whistle, so the play's over. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I
they
mean?
blew
It
the
should
whistle
have been a
well
fumble.
after it. Well after it. They blew the whistle after Thibodeau already had the ball.
They said on the broadcast that they blew the whistle.
Right, and they were wrong because then they show the replay and he clearly had the ball well before the whistle blew.
Well, then it should have been a fumble. But listen, I don't have any sympathy for bad calls going the way against teams like the Eagles playing. I've seen enough of it go against my team over the years. I have zero sympathy.
Oh, I understand.
And I have zero sympathy for this storyline that this play should go away because the refs can't call it either. That's the league's fault, not the Eagles.
No, and that's what I said. I said I don't blame the Eagles for it. It's the officials that really annoy me.
Yeah, no, and I don't blame you as a non-Eagle fan, but to have a play legislated out of the game because they can't figure out how to call it is ridiculous. That's just it's silly to me.
Yeah, I just don't like how it's totally. It's just been a topic now on all the sports talk that I've been listening to, and everybody is screaming and yelling about it now. So I'll be surprised if it goes through next time. But maybe, like you said, you get some off season, you get through the rest of the year, maybe without any controversy with it, and then maybe by then people's tempers calm down and you let it go through again. That's definitely possible. But as of right now, like if it was voted on today, it would definitely not go through. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's a play I absolutely loathe, and it's a rugby play. It's not a football play, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's in the rules of the game, so it's a football play, and it's available for 31 other teams to use. They just can't run it as well.
Yeah, that is absolutely true.
Like that's the other side of this that people, the complainers don't like to bring up. Your team could use it too, but you can't run it well, so you don't.
Right. Well, I see. I agree to an extent. I think the Eagles run it now, and they've got such a reputation for it, and because of that, the refs don't officiate it properly. I mean, I'm sure you saw those videos of times where they literally start the offensive line, every one of them go before the ball's hiked. And how do you not call a false start on that? And there's like four of them, not one or two. There's literally four offensive linemen start moving before the ball's hiked, and they don't call it. And there's like 3 or 4 times that I've already seen that.
Yeah, this storyline is just kind of boring to me. Like there's people jumping offside on every play on every team in the league. And they've isolated this play over and over. They found 4 examples of this in running this play 150 times. And now everybody's up in arms. And, the talk you're hearing is in New York. They hate it because they're Eagles opponents and rivals. It's a bunch of whining about a play that works. And stop whining and stop it. That's my opinion.
ESPN nationally, Fox News, Fox Sports, all of them, they're all saying it.
They've been saying it for 2 years now,
Yeah, it's a huge thing. Yeah, I completely disagree with everything you said, basically. And that's okay.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, like the bottom line to me is stop whining about it and stop the play. Wah.
Right. Well, the bottom line for me is officiate it properly.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. But, in the meantime, wah.
I think if that call is called a fumble, that might be Philly went down and scored a touchdown that drive. I don't know. That'd be very interesting if that was called a fumble. What would have happened from there on out? But it doesn't matter.
You're not going to say they would have won that game if that fumble happened.
No, they wouldn't have. But it would have been closer. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to a team that we both have had problems with, and I think we basically both just need a cold slap to the face because New England New England is good.
Yeah.
And
No, I'm accepting that now. I still don't know how good because they beat one good team and they beat a darn good team in the Bills. So, but wait, who did they play this week?
they
Because
play
I'm having a hard time
Cleveland
finding.
32-13. They beat Cleveland. Now Cleveland's a bad team, but they did what they're supposed to do to a bad team. They didn't squeak by them. They dominated them. They crushed them. 32-13. They had a 36-23 time of possession advantage. They had a 422 yards of offense. I mean, everything about this game came up roses for the Patriots. Drake May looked awesome. 3 touchdowns. He didn't have one pick, but 280, was it? Yeah, 282. Henderson looked good. I mean, Mac Hollins catching 89 yards. I mean, that's another thing too, is they're doing it with no receivers at all. Because Diggs is a shell of himself.
I love Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins showing up barefoot to games, dressing like he's going to the disco in 1977. I mean, he is something else, man. He was an Eagle. The Eagles never should have let him go. He should have been a 10-year Eagle. He's just awesome. Yeah, the Patriots are good. I just can't figure out how good. Here, listen, check this out. This is their schedule. All right. Now we know they beat the Bills. I'm going to read off the rest.
Yep.
They lost to the Raiders.
Yep.
They beat the Dolphins. They lost to the Steelers. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Saints. They beat the Titans, and they beat the Browns.
Yep. 4 bad teams. They won 4 in a row. But I don't know. They're looking better to me.
No, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with your premise. I'm just saying incomplete information because they have not played. They played 2 decent teams. They beat one, which is a very impressive win. And so I can't discount that at all. I'm not trying to. I don't want to. But they lost to a very mediocre Steelers team, and they also lost to the freaking Raiders. So I just can't. I don't know. Drake May is awesome, though. I mean, this guy is putting up an MVP type season with one of the worst receiving cores you'll ever see. By the way, those of us who have been waiting for Travion Henderson got a little taste this week.
Yep.
10 carries for 75 yards. But yeah, no, this is a coming out party for this team, and I'm just curious to see just how good they are in the long run. It's fascinating.
We might not get the answer because their schedule is the weakest in the league. I think we've talked about this. They might be able to sneak in the playoffs just based on the fact that their schedule is so bad, so easy. But I think at the very least they're a decent to good team. But they're taking advantage of their schedule for sure. But 6-2 in this league is 6-2.
No, I agree, man. I mean, they play, I think, 3 teams I would consider to be good teams the rest of the season. They play the Buccaneers in 2 weeks, which will be a really interesting game. They have to go to Tampa. They'll be underdogs, and that'll be interesting. If they can win that game, boy, that would be huge. They play the Bills again, of course, and they play the Ravens, who I'm now putting back in the category of at least potentially good team.
Yep. The thing is, even if they lose those 3 games,
yeah, they're 12-5.
They're 12-5.
Yeah, that's wild, man. I mean, and they play the Falcons, who we can't figure out, so who knows there. I'm not going to put them in the good team category, though. But yeah, no, I mean, even if they lose one of those games that look like they should all be wins now, they end up 11-6. Yeah. So yeah.
I mean, so taking advantage of the schedule, but I think it's a well-coached, good team now anyway, regardless. And, yeah, like I said, we both have been discounting them, but I don't think we could deny it anymore. They're not fully back as a real contender for like Super Bowls or anything, but they're on the rise and they are looking good.
Agreed, man. Agreed. No doubt about it. Yeah. And on the Brown side, the Dylan Gabriel gave a little bit of a hope to anybody that wants to see Shedeur Sanders on the field this year for the first time.
Yes, he did not play well.
He did
Nope.
not. He
Nope.
did not. You know who did play well, and it's the only person playing consistently well for the Browns all year, because even Quinshon Judkins had his first stinker in the NFL this week. That is Myles Garrett, who had 5 sacks.
My God.
Yeah.
I mean, just give him the defensive player of the year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I believe he has 10 sacks for the season already. Let me double check if I'm right about that.
He's so good.
Yeah, and he's done it for a team that's been brutally bad for almost all but maybe probably two of his seasons in the league at 29 years old. Yeah, he's got what is it here? Yep, 10 sacks.
Yep.
10 sacks, and we're not even halfway through the season. Just barely under halfway. So he's on pace for a little over 20 sacks.
Crazy. And that, knowing him, he'll get there. I mean, he's so good.
Oh no, I'm with you, man. 100%. And I think, let me see about this thing that I saw real quick. I should have it in a second. Okay, he became the 4th fastest player to reach 100 career sacks, doing it in 115 games.
Really?
Yeah, he's tied Bruce Smith and Lawrence Taylor. If you tie those two people in anything, you're doing incredible stuff. And I'm pretty sure the record, although I'm not finding it right now, I'm pretty sure the record is Reggie White. So he's tied behind Reggie White with Bruce Smith and Lawrence Taylor for fastest to reach 100 career sacks.
Jeez. I mean, yeah, like you said, if you're tying those guys, you're doing something right.
Yeah, that's amazing. Amazing. And to do it in none, he's the only one of those 3 people, or those of any of those names I just mentioned, he's the only one that's done it for a terrible team his whole career.
Wow. Yeah, and they've been bad pretty much his entire career, like you said.
Yeah, I think there might have been 1 or 2 seasons where they sniffed the playoffs in that whole time, maybe even made it once, but they've been pretty darn bad most of the time. So that's extra impressive. What a career.
Yeah. Okay, we all got that one right. We all picked New England. We all got the Eagles right too, by the way. We all picked the Eagles.
Nice.
So let's move on to Tampa with a 23-3 victory over New Orleans. And you think, okay, New Orleans stinks, even though they were at home. Tampa Bay took care of business 23-3. But when you dive into the numbers a little bit, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Did you see the total yards?
I did.
New Orleans had more yardage than them. New Orleans had 275 yards, and Tampa Bay only had 212, and they won by 20.
Yeah, this is wild, man. This was there was a really cool pick six that I'm trying to find the name of the guy, a big white defensive end. What is his name? Anthony Nelson, who had one heck of a game, 2 sacks, and then he tipped a pass and caught it. Real athletic play.
Yep.
Really nice play, man. And that was one of the reasons they were able to win a game where they got outstatted.
They had 5 sacks against the Saints. The Saints also turned the ball over 4 times. So that all leads to it. Yeah. But we saw Tyler Shuck, or however you pronounce his name, get in the game there. 17 for 30, 128 yards, threw one of the picks. But no touchdown. But he, literally his first snaps in the league, and they already announced that he's going to be the starter, and he's starting next week.
Isn't that interesting? Because Rattler played pretty well for most of this season, and boy, just when we talked about, literally just 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that he had seemed to have a pretty firm grasp on this job at this point. We know that Shuck is there waiting in the wings, and he puts up one not so great half, and he is out, man.
The thing is, it's you get to the point. Their record's not good, and they want to see the kid. Obviously, they're 1-7. So what do you? There's no reason to wait. It's not like Rattler can be the guy at some point. It's obviously going to be Shuck. So now's the time. I understand They're thinking, I understand what we were thinking last week because he was playing overall pretty well, but, you know, I understand what their thinking is as well. Just get to the kid. They're 1-7, and it's time to start getting him some experience.
Yeah, I hear you, but the thing is, Rattler was a really highly thought of college football player who fell down because of some attitude stuff and into the 5th round. He was just taken last year. It's not like he's over the hill and is a nobody. You know what I mean? Like he was every bit, I mean, Chuck is a 2nd round pick. It's not like, he's any guaranteed of anything. So, it was just interesting to me because he's still, for the season, he has a 68% completion percentage, 8 touchdowns, 5 picks, 86.8 quarterback rating. But came off his 2 worst games of the year. So, it's amazing how quick fortunes turn in this league, especially given they're both, it's a 1st year and a 2nd year player with not that big a difference in draft capital. So it wasn't like, this was just waiting to happen, the anointing of the king. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe I was thinking about it in the wrong way because I was thinking it was more of a anointing of the king, and Rattler was never in any other plans for the future. And it was all shuck. But yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of it like that, but either way, that's what they're doing. So
yeah, here it is now. Yeah. And can Shuck, hang on to it? Let's see.
let's see. Would they go back to Rattler though? I'm not sure about that.
I mean, he played well enough that it wouldn't be crazy. I mean, he put up half decent numbers for a team that absolutely stinks. So, but Chuck would have to be really bad, I think. It would have to be a lot worse than Rattler was.
Right.
So, yeah, I think if Chuck can play, I think the Rattler era is over.
Yep. Baker did not have a good game. 152 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. No more talk of him in the MVP conversation anyway.
No, that's on the back burner for now, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he could get back in there with a few good games, and he's capable.
100%.
Yeah, not a whole lot to talk about on the Tampa Bay side offensively. Tez Johnson, 43 yards. Kate Otten, their tight end, has been quietly having a pretty decent year, but Egbuka didn't do anything, 35 yards. They ran 29 times for 88 yards, only 3 yards a carry. I mean, yeah, this was just a bad offensive game for Tampa Bay that they won, but the one was just so bad that they still won by 20 points.
I know, it's wild because, yeah, like you look at that score, you think, oh, total destruction, but it really wasn't that. It was 7-3 at halftime, for crying out loud. So, yeah, this was just the better team figuring out a way to win, caused a lot of turnovers, and just kept a really bad. The Saints started to look like they might be half decent for a couple weeks there. They don't now.
Right. They definitely don't. All right, let's move on to Indiana Jones.
Man.
Once again, doing it 38-14. This team is 7-1, and they just keep winning. Obviously, Tennessee's not a good team, but regardless, this is just another example of where Indianapolis is at this point. They are one of the best teams in the league. And in our power rankings last week, we had them as the best team in the league. I don't see how a 38-14 victory, even over a bad team, would take them out of the top spot for me or you. We'll see when we get to the power rankings in the next pod. But regardless, just 21 of 29, 272, 3 touchdowns, no picks. My God.
I mean, Daniel Jones is just unbelievable. I can't believe what he's doing in Indy. I mean, if this Giant fans just must want to just stick a poker in their eye and pluck out their eyeballs. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Giant fan. They watch Saquon Barkley, I mean, get to the point where reasonable thinking people thought he wasn't that good anymore. and then go and be have one of the best seasons a running back ever had when they played for a decent team.
Yep.
They watch Daniel Jones get the heck out of purgatory and go and be an MVP candidate, and that's not overstating it. It's just astonishing. Luckily for them, they got the ship righted somehow anyway, and are heading towards better times. At least it feels like it. But it's just gotta suck being a Giant fan sometimes with that kind of stuff. It's crazy.
I mean, he's got a lot of help with Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, only 12 carries, but 153 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is unbelievable. He's definitely having the best year of a running back. Him and Bijan are neck and neck, but I would give him the nod over Bijan. And yeah, he's having a great year. Pittman had a good game. Everybody had a decent game, though. I mean, everybody got in on the act. This was just an all-around. I mean, they even gave Riley Leonard a couple snaps at the end. Yeah, there's nothing to complain about on the Colts side. Everything looks good. They look good. They're going to be a force, I think, the rest of the way. And I can't wait to see them really get tested in some bigger games.
I am right there with you, man. This team is so intriguing. You know, they've passed the tests when they've had them. You know, they beat what was it? They beat the Broncos and the Chargers already. So when they've had tests, they've passed them. And they're going to have some more to pass. And listen, they are one of the best teams in football right now. And like you said, we'll see on our power rankings where they land exactly. But man, they just look incredible. I mean, Jones is being super solid to spectacular week to week. Jonathan Taylor is spectacular. The receiving core is super solid, with Michael Pittman being even a little more than that. He had one hell of a catch, man. You see that one-handed catch he made? Man, that was something, dude. And and their defense is opportunistic and has a nice pass rush. So, you know, they have the makings of a real contender. They really do.
Cam Ward had a pretty decent day here. 22 of 38. That's not great, but then 259, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But the 259 for the yardage, you know, we see a lot of him in the hundreds or just barely in the hundreds or whatever, 150 or whatever. So 259 is a decent number for him. But they didn't, Pollard had 44 yards on 11 carries. Spears had 59. Nothing really here. That DK guy.
Yes.
93 yards. We got to start to know how to pronounce his name because it's coming up more and more.
No doubt.
But other than that, Tennessee is 1-7 for a reason, and the Colts are 7-1 for a reason.
Yeah, no, this is one of the best teams against one of the worst teams, and the good team did what they should and absolutely clobbered the bad team.
Yep. All right, let's move on to Denver 44, Dallas 24. It was another game where Denver could do whatever they wanted, and the defense couldn't stop it. If they wanted to run, they'd get 9 yards. If they wanted to pass, he had all day in the pocket to just pick apart the defense any way he wanted. And he had multiple options every time he dropped back because everybody was wide open every play.
Unbelievable. Yeah, and the offense let the Cowboys down for the first time all season. Dak had his only bad game of the year. They did nothing right in this game. This was a tough one.
Yep, everything was wrong. But that's when you're a team like the Cowboys. This is a game that you're definitely going to see from time to time. It's going to pop up like this, and they played a good defense.
You can't hang 40 on everybody. I'm with you. Yeah, right. It's tough. That's tough to ask.
They played a good defense, and pay the price. 188 yards for Dak and 2 picks. His first 2-pick game in I don't know how long. His first pick in like 5 weeks. Javonte Williams got in the end zone twice, but he didn't have any yardage. Pickens and CD had almost the exact same game, 7 catches, 78, and 7 catches, 74. What the problem was? Ferguson did not get a catch, which is crazy considering he was leading the league, including receivers, leading the league in receptions.
Yeah, he's been having a heck of a year. I don't know what happened there with that. I don't know if they have some sort of stud tight end killer that they were game planning against the Cowboys, trying to avoid that, or I don't know what happened because he's been awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Bo Nix had no pressure. He was able to, eat a sandwich every time he went back there. No sacks. Is very, yeah, there's no pressure stat, but very little pressure to no pressure. Uh, Efficient, 247, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. The 1 pick was the first start of the game. I was like, oh, okay, maybe we'll do something. And it was all downhill from there.
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah, this was a toughie, man. Yeah, their weaknesses just came to the forefront and hurt them against a team that's turning out to be a very good team in the Broncos.
yeah, I think the Broncos are riding the ship a little bit to where we thought they would be at the beginning of the year. Remember, I picked the Chargers. I think you might have picked the Chargers over them, but I'm not.
No, I picked the Chiefs to win the division and the Broncos to finish second and the Chargers third. So right
Okay.
now I feel decent about that, but they could be. Denver could take the Chiefs in this, man.
Yeah, we'll see. That's going to be a good game too. They got to start playing. They got to play them, I'm sure. But yeah, Denver's now 6-2, looking good.
Amazing.
Dobbins, 111 yards. Troy Franklin comes on, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Why don't I know him?
Troy Franklin was the guy that was drafted. He played with Bo Nix at Oregon.
Oh,
He was I want to say he was expected to be like a early second round pick, and then lasted all the way to the 4th round, if I remember right.
yeah, because he played great. He had a lot of targets and everything.
Yeah, he's starting to step up. He was dinged up a lot in his rookie season, and he's got 33 catches for 358 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he is, he's on pace for like about a 70 catch season as a sophomore in the league. So that's pretty dang impressive, man. He looks like he's the real deal.
RJ Harvey seems to be their goal line back now for them. Well, I mean, he had 2 touchdowns. One of them was a long one. But either way, he had 7 carries. He also caught a touchdown. So RJ Harvey with 3 touchdowns on the day. Dobbins still seems to be the number 1 guy, though, with the carries at least. But either way, they've got some weapons now. Harvey and Dobbins in the backfield. Sutton, just Troy Franklin. Don't forget about Mims. Evan Ingram at tight end. And Bo Nix is playing a lot better. He's playing really good now. And we were thinking maybe earlier in the year that he was going to have a little bit of the sophomore problem, but doesn't look like it. And
Agreed.
we all picked the Colts, by the way. Me and you picked Denver. Joe picked Dallas, so he took the loss there. And yeah, for the Cowboys, yeah, I don't know what to make of them week to week. If they score 30 points, they win. If they don't, they lose. And anybody could put up 30 on them. It's without question. And they need to get pressure. They need to make a move at the deadline. I don't know if they will or not. They probably won't, to be honest. But if they do, maybe something will help. Overshawn is back this week, so we're going to see.
Is he really?
Yes, he's coming back this week.
Incredible. Good for him, because I thought he was going to be out a lot longer. Good for him.
Me too. And the fact that, too, another thing, too, is they're saying he looks as fast or faster than he did last year.
Amazing, man.
It is crazy. So if he can come back, have an impact, that could help, but one player's not going to help, and it's not like he's an world beater, but definitely a help. We'll see. But yeah, this defense is more than just an Achilles heel. They probably would have lost this game anyway because the Denver's defense is so good, but it wouldn't have been a blowout like it turned out to be. But their defense can't stop anybody. They can't put any pressure on. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. Other than that, they're good.
I love it. I love it.
That's my theme for the year is whatever you want to do on offense to the Cowboys, you can do. You want to run a fake, they'll bite it. You want to just do a normal run that normally gains 4 yards, you'll get 10. You want to whatever pass you want to throw, you can throw because everybody's open. Not one person, everybody's open every play.
Right. Yeah, man. No, it's got to be frustrating because they have such a good offense and their defense is just a sieve.
Yep. 16 penalties in this one. Not what you want to see, really. Where was there was one other stat I wanted to see. Of course, I don't see it now. All right, that's all right. No big deal. Let's move on. Get off of that pitiful game.
I love it.
All right. Well, Green Bay walks into Pittsburgh and just takes care of business against the Pittsburgh team that me and Joe picked to win the game. You picked Green Bay smartly, but I mean, geez, Pittsburgh is so mediocre, and your Pittsburgh logic is working for you, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine. It's finally working, Craig. Now, I'm not going to get all fired up and think I have something, because the second I think I get something working with Pittsburgh, I get kicked in the jimmy. So, yeah, but it did work this week. I'll take it.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, I thought might be a jerk because he is a jerk and have a good game, and he didn't have. He had 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, but it was very uninspiring and not very. I don't know. It was like he was fine, but he wasn't spectacular or anything.
Yeah.
But it was Jordan. It was Jordan's Love's come out party, and especially against the guy he came in, was the backup for this. All the Rodgers controversy, all that stuff about him, and he's the next guy up, and his chance to play him, get 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Amazing effort by him. I mean, he is rocketing into the top tier of the league. Like, he has firmly established himself as a very, very good quarterback and potentially one of the best in football. And Tucker Kraft is making a case for one of the best tight ends in the league too. I mean, he has put up 2 of these types of games now this year, 7 catches for 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he is just a monster when they unleash him. Yeah, this team is, I had my doubts about this team. I don't now.
Yeah, this one really firmed it up. Didn't realize, other than they had the tie against Dallas, but they're 5-1.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They just, the reason I left them, and we'll get into the power rankings, I'm not going to say what I did with them this week or not, but the reason I left them all out of my top 5 last week is because their only win against a team above 500 was against the Lions in week 1. And since then they had lost to the Browns. So it felt like a semi-shaky 4-1 going into this past week. But forget that, man. This was an impressive win. You go on the road, even against this hard to figure out Steelers team. They're still a decent team, this Steelers team. You go on and you win by 10 on the road, the way they won. I mean, they were down, 16-7, I want to say. They were down in the first half. It was 16-7 at the end of the half. So, and then they came back and just crushed them in the second half. So yeah, this was a big time win for the Packers. Big time.
Yeah, totally agree. Scored 35 points on the road too. But Pittsburgh's defense is not what it used to be.
No, the steel curtain is a steel hanky.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So I don't know. Pittsburgh is mediocre, hard to figure out. And your theory of whenever you want to pick them, pick against them, and whenever you think they're going to lose, pick them to win. And it's as good a theory as anybody.
Yeah. Nobody can figure this team out, so why not go with something that seems to work every now and then? Chuck enough darts at the Steelers, eventually you hit them.
Yep. Okay. Well, let's finish up here. Last night, Kansas City over Washington, 28-7. But this was a tight game right up until the about halftime is when it got away from Washington. Because wasn't it close at halftime? If I'm not
it was 7-all at the half.
Yeah.
It was 7-7. And then the Chiefs scored a touchdown with 10 minutes left in the third quarter to make it 14-7, and then it was just all Chiefs from that point forward.
Yep. Mariota, he's not a terrible quarterback. He's not. He's one of the best backups in the league.
I agree.
21 for 30. I mean, he had 2 picks, but he had a touchdown, 213 yards. I mean, he played okay, but just overmatched. And I guess, I mean, you got to continue to say the Chiefs are back, even though Mahomes threw 2 picks.
Yeah, and they were both early, and they were they were dry. Look at the total yardage in this game, and it does kind of fit the score, but it would have been 42 or 38 or something to 7 instead of 28-7 if it wasn't for those 2 picks. He threw them both. I want to say they were both in the first quarter. If not, they were real early. In this
One was definitely in the first quarter. I'm not sure about the second one.
Yeah. And they were just kind of weird, oddballs. So yeah, it was, and by the way, the one Mariota pick wasn't anything close to his fault. It was a little screen pass to Debo, and it just bounced off his face and went straight up in the air. And, it should have been an easy catch for Debo, and it just, bounced right into the opposing player's, hand. So, Mariota is one of the more solid backups in the league for sure. He's not spectacular. He never is, but he's pretty solid. He didn't lose them this game, but he certainly didn't win it for him. But, yeah, the Chiefs, man, Chiefs are back. You know, they have that dreaded Andy Reid, don't try and figure out what to do with my running backs in fantasy rotation going, and it's working well for them. Pacheco and Hunt combined for 21 carries for 98 yards and a touchdown. Rashee Rice is completely back. Kelsey looked awesome. That is his best game of the season.
Yep.
You know, they had a game, Craig, where Hollywood Brown didn't get a catch, and you know, he's just sitting there in reserve waiting for a week when they need him. You know what I mean? Like it's they have an excess of weaponry now, which is crazy after ever since they traded Tyreek Hill.
Yep. Kelsey 6 for 99 and a touch. Rashee Rice 9 for 93 and a touch. Worthy had 5 for 53. Yeah, they like you said, excess of weapons. They all got in on the act. Mahomes looks good again. You know, 299, 3 touchdowns. We talked about the 2 picks, but 25 of 34. All that is typical Mahomes. And, yeah, he's been good now for a few weeks in a row. Their weapons are getting more and more healthy, and pretty much everybody's back now. And, yeah, I guess it's time to look out for the Chiefs. And I hate to say it, but I don't know how anybody's going to beat them in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm not quite ready to say that yet. I mean, there's some good teams out there, and the Chiefs have been really good for 4 weeks, and they were really bad for 4 weeks. So I am not ready to anoint them and get all bummed out about the Chiefs dominating the AFC. There's some really good teams that they're going to have to deal with. So, but they are officially a problem again. No doubt about that.
Right. All right. Well, once again, I will have to do the penalty average in the next podcast at the top because I didn't do it this week. So anyway, I went 8-5, not very good. 8-5. You went 9-4, and Joe also went 9-4.
All right.
So that puts you ahead of me. I am now officially in last place. You have Joe's at 79-42. You're at 77-44, and I'm at 76-45.
Hey, we're all pretty darn close, man. Not bad at all. Halfway, you know, at the almost halfway point, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even know. We don't even have really a halfway point anymore with an odd number of games. So I think like right now in the middle of the week between week 8 and 9 is actually the halfway point.
I agree. Yep. I think this average for the penalties is going to come out the lowest it's been in a little while, which is good to see. But yeah, make sure you guys check out the week 9 preview with our power rankings at the end of that one as well. I'll have that penalty information at the top of the show as well. And, Al, do you have anything to add for week 8?
No, man, no. Good. Another fun week in the NFL. By Mageddon went by,